And I have the pleasure of interviewing one of my oldest friends here in this business, Mr. Robert Bryenton of U.S. Real Estate Ventures. And Bob, it's gosh, you've been with me. Probably both of us have been with each other since the start.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and you have my start of mentoring, your start of investing, and I mean, you ran past me. You just launched past me with your portfolio size. You are now the proud owner operator of approximately what, over 4,000 units?
5,386.
53, and you got to remember that six. 5386. Good job, man. That's awesome. That is so cool. And look at everybody's on the screen right now. If you're watching, you can see Bob. He's sitting in his mountain manse in Asheville, North Carolina, which I've been a guest there for World Series and Super Bowls.
Yeah,
sounds about right. Yeah, because we're both. Even though he's from North Carolina, he's a New Hampshire boy, a New England boy at heart, and that's why we get along so well. Because we're not like those people from Texas. We tell it like it is. If we don't like the person, we tell them we don't like them. As opposed to those guys from Texas who just will pat you on the back, tell you how sweet you are, as your appliances walk out the back door. So,
bless their heart.
Yeah, bless their heart. Oh, don't get me started with that one. Oh, don't get me going. So, man, how you doing?
Been doing great. Working
Good.
on picking up another apartment complex.
Good for you. Now, let's talk about, like, when I started with you, your background was you were had done real estate investing. You were a manufacturer's rep.
Correct.
Which I got to tell you, that is, when I met you first, I knew you were a manufacturer's rep, and you've been doing that for 30 years. And, you were the kind of guy that lived on commissions only. You had to sell or you didn't make any money. No
one was going to pay me what I wanted for my terms.
What's that again?
No one was going to pay me what I wanted on my terms, so I had to do commission.
Exactly. Yeah, because you couldn't earn the salary that you wanted. So why not go commissions? Tough lifestyle, and it makes the multifamily business look a hell of a lot easier. But I knew you were going to be a success because of your sales and marketing background. You knew that all business is marketing. You have to prospect for customers. That's what you had to do in this business.
Absolutely, it is a business. It's a sales and marketing business, and you sell yourself and you sell your opportunity.
Yep. And the thing is that, and that's not just for the, finding the property or what have you. That's finding your investors and all aspects of this business. All aspects. So tell me, Bob, remember our first deal that we worked on together? I do.
I tried to forget
it. Well, listen, the reason why it was forgettable or should have been forgotten had nothing to do with anything that you and I did. It was that damn other partner of yours.
Yeah, it's a three-letter word, HUD.
Yeah, HUD, the federal government. Whenever you partner with the federal government, you always lose.
Yeah, well, they definitely handcuff you in the constraints of what you can and cannot do.
Yes. So, okay, it was a 36-unit property. It's called Villa Court. I remember it. It's down in it was North Carolina, right? Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. And so we go out there, we analyze the deal, we do everything right, and then what happens after the first year with our friends?
There was a HAP contract, housing assisted program, and they basically paid the rent and the utilities for the tenants, and the property got the voucher, so to speak, not the tenants.
Right.
And after I paid the first year cash on cash return to the pref of 9% to my investors, I got a notice saying that I couldn't pay them more than 2%.
Now, where was that written? Where did they say that you couldn't do that when we were looking at all the documents?
I'm still looking.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, let me just back up and make sure that everybody understands. A HAP contract, Housing Assistance Program contract, means that it is a project-based rental assist program, as opposed to a voucher-based. Voucher-based, the tenant gets the voucher. They can take it anywhere They want in Bob's property, everybody in his project, everybody, I mean, Bob essentially owned and operated a project. And that's what, project-based or voucher-based. And so Bob was his first venture was owning projects, I suppose I should say.
I've done better since.
Yeah, you have. You certainly have. But the punchline to all of that was that, I mean, how many years later did you sell the property?
7 years we held it.
And did they say that you couldn't disperse money all the way through?
Well, I made the decision rather than doing a 2% disbursement is to do it collectively at the end when we sold the property.
Okay, so everybody got caught up at when you sold it. Everybody was made whole.
Correct.
That's pretty nice. How many disgruntled, how did you communicate with your investors this particular issue? I mean, because
good news is they were all dear friends and still close friends, and they've invested in other deals after that. So
okay,
based off of my reputation that I'd make them whole.
Good, and you did.
And I did.
Awesome. All right. So what was the next deal? So that got you off into 36. 36 units was your, and as I always say, how to own 1,000 apartments in 5 years. You start with 20, and you started with 36. So what was your next deal?
I have to look it up.
Now, why don't you talk to us about a very successful partnership that you have that started up as a result of one of these gurus, and it wasn't me. And please don't call me a guru. So,
Tony?
Yeah, Tony. Talk about Tony.
Tony Azar and I were really good friends, or are really good friends and family now. But we went to a seminar, and it was on self-storage. And the speaker was talking about self-storage and wanted to basically ask us if we had known the head guru that was doing the multifamily as well as the self-storage. So he had everybody stand up that knew who the person was and had done a weekend class, and a lot of people stood up, and then who had gone to the boot camp, stay standing, and then who had drank the Kool-Aid and did the mentoring program. And there were just two of us standing, and it was Tony Azar and myself, and we'd never met. So they asked us a bunch of questions, and Tony just kind of had a grin on his face and just allowed me to do the talking.
Yeah, he was afraid that he would have to tell the truth.
Hey, now, just because I was a salesman.
Exactly. I was just going to say the same thing. You were able to put a spin on it. Because Tony couldn't.
Yeah, he's too honest.
Yeah.
But basically, it was the response was you get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah.
And
it's a double-edged sword. It's anything you can say is play both sides against the middle.
Yeah. So afterwards, Tony and I started talking, introduced ourselves, and our philosophies were spot on, equal. And then we realized that we were competing against each other on a property in Amarillo, Texas.
Okay.
We were both in best and final. Neither one of us got it.
Was that a good thing?
I don't know. I don't look backwards.
Yeah, but do you remember the name of that? Because a couple of my students
just bought one in Amarillo.
Yeah, was it the same one?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
So Tony and I started off as competitors, competitors, became friends, and now we're family.
That's so cool. And that's, I got to tell you, if you listen to my podcast, I talk about that all the time, of what a great business is because the people in the business are it's such a great business to be in. I always compare it to my cutthroat business of the insurance business, where everybody just stabs each other in the back. Hate that business. But this business is the nicest people in the world. People in my program, you know them all, Bob. They call you all the time. What a great group, isn't it?
It is. I mean, There's been some tragedy recently, and everyone pulled together and helped everybody out.
Yeah, one of our members lost his beautiful 13-year-old daughter, and the way we just gathered around him, it was fantastic. And that's the type of friends that we have in this group. So yeah, very, very cool.
And it's a relationship business. I mean, I've got great relationships with different vendors, different lenders, different brokers.
You know, so, and Bob has become so big down there in that Charlotte area that when I see one of my students brings a property to me to evaluate, first thing I got to do is go contact Bob and see if he owns it, because he and Tony can might own it themselves. How about Tony? How many units is he up to?
Who knows? I
Oh,
mean,
really?
as many as I have, if not more, because
Cool.
we do them together and he manages them. We do them independently. He manages mine. It's like yours, mine, and ours.
Exactly. Yep. Now, Bob, let me ask you that. Go through my kind of litany of questions. If you had to start all over again, if you had to begin this business all over again, what would you do differently?
Start sooner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a meeting the other day and there was a college kid, and I just thanked him for starting while he was in college.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding, man. I didn't get started till I was 40. And I said, I just can't live my life that way anymore. I had to make the change. So I'm so glad I did. And I'm 72 now. So
You don't look a day over 70.
thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Kind of you. Very kind. Have I got you on a Medicare policy yet? No. Okay. It's coming. It's coming for you.
Oh, I've been on for a couple of years.
Oh, have you? All right. Now, so you would have started sooner, but let me ask you, what were some of the biggest roadblocks you came up against getting started?
Believing in myself was the only one.
Really? Just confidence in doing it?
Yeah, and after you did the first one, it was fine. The second one, it was easier. Now it's just addicting.
Now, exactly, especially in your case, because now that you own so many, being what we call in the business a performer, you can perform. All the brokers know you can perform. You must not even have to market anymore. It just drops in your lap.
Sometimes that happens, but I'm still out there looking.
Yeah. Yeah. Then people bring you deals.
Correct.
Now let's talk about that for a minute, because that's one of the benefits of the owner forum program is we connect you with people like you, Bob, for becoming a key principal, helping people qualify for mortgages. It's almost like you're essentially paying it forward, for.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a team sport.
Yeah.
You can't do it on your own, and I'm starting to learn that the hard way. I brought on 2 new partners, my son and my daughter.
Yeah.
And
don't you know that you can't hire people you can't fire?
I know their mother would get upset with me.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
How is Debbie?
Debbie's great.
Great. She's awesome. Just so you know, when we were there, Debbie had been away for a couple of days, and my wife and I are sitting in his living room. We hear the car pull up, and Bob jumps right up, grabs a bottle of wine, pours a glass of wine, and walks out to the driveway to greet her with her glass of wine. Now, he might have been putting on a big show for us.
No, I'm trained.
Yep, but that was so cool. It did not go unnoticed. Thanks a lot, Bob.
Anything I can do to help.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You're the one that spoiled it for me and working late on Mondays.
Oh, kidding. I did. For those who don't know, we have a Monday Night Live call, and Bob sneaks up to his office, which is where he is right now, and hides up there for a couple hours. And then I had to tell Debbie, I said, "Oh, why is he up there that long? It's only an hour-long call." She said, "It is? What does he do up there for the whole time?" So, yeah, you're just goofing around making lures, fishing lures.
Flies.
Yeah, flies. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm not hip to the lingo. For those of you that don't know Bob, one of his biggest passions in life is fishing. He's taken me fishing, fly fishing down in the deepest, darkest woods of North Carolina, and I caught my fish. I caught a fish.
He caught it and I didn't.
Yeah, he did. That's right.
He did better than me that day.
It's like when I played golf with one of my students, I beat him by a stroke, but just a stroke. I didn't want to really show him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. So, all right, let's talk more about, a day in the life of a multifamily investor. And I'm almost afraid to ask this question, but what do you do on a daily basis to own and operate 5,300 units?
Talk to the people that work for me.
Yeah. And how do you go through that?
I try to delegate as much as possible.
Yeah.
You and I differ on doing third-party property managers, but I'm fortunate Tony is my partner, and he loves doing the hands-on stuff. So I'm fortunate in that aspect.
How often do you look at the numbers?
Weekly.
Do you? And what do you look for when you see the numbers? What categories do you hone in on?
Uh, expenses more so than revenue. In
Okay.
revenue, I look at the bottom line, and if it looks like it's increasing, then I just kind of skip over it. Go to expenses, which is easier to control than revenue.
Okay. Now, what about up against budget? Do you build a budget for all your properties?
You have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if the numbers are within reason and budget, I don't spend a lot of time looking at them. I just kind of skim over them. But if there's something that was a red flag or a yellow flag, I'm definitely going to spend time analyzing it.
Now, what about your properties? Do you have many rehabs or repositionings, or where you got a big construction budget you have to watch?
I'd say half of them have been,
Okay.
and it's usually roofs, parking lots, windows,
More
and
exterior stuff.
upgrading interiors.
Yeah.
We had one project where the stairs were in dire need of repair, and it was kind of Mickey Mouse on how they put it together. And when we were buying the property, they wanted us to get a credit, and they were going to give us a $700,000 credit. And we told them we wanted them to fix them before we bought the property. And it came to about $850,000.
Good. Good.
So, yeah, some stuff, I mean, if it's roofs and shingles, that's one thing. You got a pretty good handle on what the expense is going to be. But when you start getting into stairs and foundations and what have you, it's kind of a crapshoot.
All right. Let me ask you this, and we don't need to take it down any bad paths, but it's always kind of a fun question. What's been the worst day for you in this business?
Dealing with one of my partners.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing that the biggest problems I've had in this business have been with crappy partners? And well, let's because this your partner probably listens because listen, you have many partners, correct?
Correct.
All right, so we're not going to get any more specifics than that because I don't want them, calling me up saying, "Hey, you listen to your podcast," and I know Bob was talking about me. Like, okay, to sum it up, it's a partnership problem.
It's a partnership problem, and we just didn't communicate well.
Okay, still working with the guy?
Sorry?
Still working with the guy?
No.
Okay, all right. Now let me ask you this because I got to get the good, the good with the bad. What's been the best day in this business for you?
Working with my partners.
Okay. now we can talk about these partners.
I mean, all my partners have something that they do better than me and smarter than me. So it's just a matter of putting everybody together, and working on their strengths, and hopefully my strengths are their weaknesses.
Making a good team.
Yeah.
All right, and also I know I thought you were going to give me a different answer because I know how well you've done in this business, and you've been incredibly successful. It's fantastic to watch, especially when I knew you way back when, and been with you for much of this journey. It's been fantastic, and you and like I said, the nicest thing about this business, you make great friends. I consider you one of my best friends in this business. I love hanging out with you and getting down there to Asheville. Kate and I really enjoyed our time down there. It was so nice. So I love seeing you as successful as you are, Bob. So cool.
Well, thanks. I mean, and I have to say thank you for talking me out of my first few deals where it's a typical, I had all the answers, but I forgot what the questions were.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And some of them were doozies. And let me tell you something. That's one of the things that people say a lot of what I do for them is I protect them from those bad deals. Because, Bob, let me tell you something. There's no reason for you to do the bad deals. I've already done them all for us, okay? So don't make the same mistakes I have.
Well, I'll try not to.
Okay, yeah. All right. So let's talk about let's talk for a moment about the deal that you're working on right now. Now, just for the record, I don't know what the answer is, but tell me what issues you're going through with it. What's your mindset about this deal? Why do you want to do it? What's holding you back? How do you take your mind through the process of acquiring this project?
Well, a friend of mine who was he's a commercial broker in Tennessee, brought me the property, and not really an off-market deal, but it's not heavily marketed. It's 103 units, and it's about an hour from where I live, and it's the perfect size for working with my son and my daughter.
Oh, cool.
It's 6.2, 6.25, something like that, 61 a door.
So it's probably about a B class property.
Well, age-wise, it's a C, but it's been well taken care of. It's all brick, the new roofs. The parking area needs to be seal coated, and that's about the biggest expense. Most of it is upgrading interiors.
Okay.
Kitchens and new light fixtures, carpet, that type of thing.
Now, what do you think? What's going through your mind about what are your concerns about owning this property?
At first, the concerns were the number of students because it's close to East Tennessee State.
Okay.
Then when we started doing a quick lease audit, realized that they were on 12-month leases, not 9 months.
Okay.
So that alleviated that big issue. I really don't have any key hurdles other than timing.
What's the issue?
I'm going to Europe for 2 weeks.
Okay. See, folks, this is the lifestyle of a multifamily investor. Okay. Wouldn't you all like to have this problem where you just, you're trying to buy a property, but your European vacation may get in the way?
And the seller was not in a rush, so we worked it out. So while I'm gone, my attorney's working on the purchase and sale agreement. And
Cool.
forth.
Cool.
And then the clock starts ticking once I get back.
Excellent. Good job. And then, okay, so let me ask you this. How are you going to structure the deal? Are you going to have investors? You're going to do it on your own?
I syndicate all my deals.
Okay, let's talk about this for a second. So you've got over 5,000 units. You syndicate all your deals, but you and Tony, I know, have been notorious, and not in a bad way, but notorious for
Performing and doing what we say.
Well, yeah, okay, notorious for that too, but also ending up being the sole owner operators of the deal.
Doesn't make us bad.
No, and notorious is the wrong word. I agree, but my question:
Our investors are happy because what we'll do in the operating agreement, it allows us the possibility of buying them out and giving them the return that we have in the PPM, and either buying them out completely with the returns that we call about, and then we just keep it on the refinance or recapitalization.
Exactly.
Or we keep them in the deal, but they cash them out of all their principal, and instead of having a pref, we do a 50-50 split on everything.
Oh, wow. That's nice. And wait, so you give them that choice when?
That's not their choice, it's ours.
Oh, really? Wow. Wow, that's so cool. And of course, it's a win-win for them. If they choose, if you choose A or B, they still get a pretty darn good deal.
Yeah, and it's all prefaced on how much we can bring in on the recapitalization.
Okay, because if you can't finance them all the way out, then you got to keep them in the deal for some other type of structure.
Right.
Very cool. Very cool. So, all right, so what do you think in this particular deal, $6.25 million, you're probably going to have to raise about $1.5 million, almost $2 million?
Yeah, I've budgeted $2 million on my underwriting.
Yep, $2 million. And how do you structure your $2 million? You got the pref. Do you have any acquisition fee built in?
I have a 2% acquisition fee.
2%. So it's a good number. It's not greedy. It's actually a little bit below market for a property this size. So, but I'm sure the Bryenton children will be very happy to get that check.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Exactly. They're going to find out why you're going on European vacations very soon.
Yeah, there's no reason to get greedy with acquisition fees. You can make it up in volume.
Yeah, no kidding. And listen, we've seen it. You and I have seen it where some gurus are out there, creating funds and keeping 5% acquisition fees on the total purchase price. I mean, that's just outrageous what these guys are getting. And the only people who would invest in deals like that are people that are not that sophisticated as investors who would allow a 5% acquisition fee.
Yeah, and I don't do a disposition fee either.
You don't.
I don't do a management fee.
Okay. Okay. Just so everyone knows, disposition fee is Bob on the way out the door when he sells a property doesn't take a cut. And let me tell you something. There are some people that do, and there's nothing wrong with it because selling property, because you can, Bob, you'll attest to this, takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it does.
It does. So, all right. So your investors win that way, and then no asset management fee.
Correct.
Yeah. And are you going to start? You think your kids are going to start doing the property management? You're going to let Tony handle that all the time?
Is that a trick question?
Let Tony do it. Yep.
He's great at it.
Yep. Yeah. He's got the big family to handle it too.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You got to keep all those girls, give them something to do. So,
Yeah.
oh man, Bob, I'm so happy for you. If it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, as I say.
Thank you.
I love seeing your success. Okay. So in our short time here, give me one pearl of wisdom for someone starting out in multifamily that you would like them to know before we sign off.
Well, two things. One, if no one's going to believe in you unless you believe in yourself.
Love it.
And the second is it's a team sport, and everybody's out there to help you. It's you can't do it on your own.
No. And these people that try, I tell you, they've got a huge learning curve. Huge learning curve.
I'm still learning.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm trying to teach you, and it's the hardest thing in the world. I taught you everything I know. It took me 2 minutes. You've already forgotten half of it.
What?
Yeah. See?
That's my life. I'm still learning after 35 years.
Exactly. And Debbie knows. So,
yeah.
Well, Roberto Bryenton, I will see you soon. Either you're going to come up to one of my conferences, or I'll be down there to Asheville to play some more. This time we'll go fishing again.
All right.
Fly my plane down there. That's what the next step is going to be. So, but hey, thank you so much for being on the best multifamily podcast ever.
Thank you for all you've done for me. I appreciate it.
Oh, Bob, I'm so glad you make it easy to get up and go to work for me every day. It's always a lot of fun to work with people like you. It's the best thing in the world. So
I'm having fun helping your students too.
Yeah, no, and listen, it is. I love the fact you're paying it forward to my students. I mean, and I love the fact that it's you, because I know that my students are in good hands when they work with a guy like you. It's fantastic.
I appreciate that.
They always rave over you. They always rave over working with Bob Bryenton. All right, Bob, great to see you, man. Always a pleasure, and we'll talk again soon.
Say hi to Kate.
Will do. Talk to you.